extremely well. Plus, we have 3 brand new Be.Live features that are going to knock your socks off. Amazing show today. You're going to want to stick around. Stay tuned. It's Be.Live Weekly. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. I was trying to do a quick little dance with the sign. I'm Owen Video, and I have a confession to make. Right before the show, I decided to wash my face. I did. And in doing so, I accidentally spilled a bunch of water on my shirt. I'm so embarrassed by it, okay? So I want you to know I'm like holding the mug up here to kind of hide my embarrassment. And now you know my deepest, darkest secrets. Welcome to the show. I'm Owen Video, and this is Be.Live Weekly, where live streamers like you tune in for tips to grow your Facebook Live show. I'm your host, Owen Video, and you can give me 5. That's right, type 5 into the comment section now. That will subscribe you to the show, and we will send you a link to the notes that come from this show, which is pretty cool. We want to welcome all of our viewers watching us today on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you're out there watching us right now, I want you to think about this quote. We found a quote today that I wanted to review with you. And Carlos, I know I'm going a little bit out of order today, but our quote today is on this topic. Our quote of the day is this. Let's go ahead and put that up. Every time we're hit with a challenge, we think of how we can flip the script and come out as winners on the other side. Now, this was a quote from one of the brilliant YouTube theologians. What's his name again, Carlos? Do we remember his name? Oh, it's this guy. It's this guy. But every time we're hit with a challenge, we think of how we can flip the script and come out as winners on the other side. Look, this is really important. I wanted to share this with you today because it means a lot to me. In your life, you are going to get hit with challenges. You know, even before the show, we got hit with some technical challenges that even now we're overcoming. I got hit with having to wash my face, and then, I get, geez, so bougie. They're like, I actually had to do that stuff. But you overcome challenges. And so here's what I want you guys to do with me right now. What is the biggest challenge right now stopping you from growing the best possible live stream show? What are the big challenges that you're facing right now? I'd like to hear from you in the chat area. So leave us a comment and tell us what you think. And then I want you to share with me, what do you think the biggest solution is to solving that problem? Let's work with each other a little bit today and see if we can overcome some big obstacles together. So we're going to go into, we have a big show for you today. I want to hear from you in the comment section. We've got a big show. We're going to be talking about YouTube. But first, if you want to reach a wider and a bigger audience, then you need to start using Be.Live. That's right. Be.Live is the premier software for going live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can discover what it's like to have guests, to add lower thirds onto the screen. And you can try Be.Live right now today for free. Just visit the website epiclivevideo.com and start your free trial of Be.Live. You get all the features. It unpacks everything. It'll work with just your laptop, or it'll work with a high-quality microphone, a high-quality camera, and all the different bells and whistles. Plus, Be.Live is unraveling some brand new features that are absolutely going to knock your socks off. You can get it all for free for 14 days. Now, after 14 days, if you know that this is the software for you, then you can get 30% off the software. You can do this today by using the promo code OwenVideo at checkout. So if you want to buy Be.Live and purchase, you get all the features. You get everything unlocked for an entire year, and you can get 30% off by using the promo code OwenVideo. Okay, we want to give a big shout out to those of our audience watching us on Facebook and on YouTube. It's great to have that YouTube audience with us today. And if you're out there watching, I want to say hello. It is great to see you. Who's out there today chatting with us? I see Ed Weinberg. I see Jane Joan Comedy is out there, and Bradley Chapman. Great to see you out here today. We are going to be going deep, diving deep into our topics today, and I'm really excited to share them with you because our guest today really brings a lot of powerful experience to the table. In fact, our guest today is so incredibly talented. in this topic that I felt we just had to share it with you. And so I want to bring her on in just a quick minute. But before we do that, Be.Live has just announced some brand new features, and I want to share them with you today because these features are absolutely going to knock your socks off. I'm going to name them, and then we're gonna actually go through them really, really quickly. So let me hear from you in the comment section right now if you are going live once a week or more. If you're going live once a week or more, let me hear from you in the comment section right now because I think you're really gonna love these features. Okay, so feature number one, I'm gonna just walk you through I'm gonna share with you the first three features, is a sticky note feature. And I love this feature. With sticky notes, you can add literally these sticky notes onto your computer screen. Okay. The next new feature is they've added filter overlays. So you know how like you have Snapchat filters and Instagram filters? Well, Be.Live is introducing Be.Live filters. And then third, the live shopping feature is ready to go and it's in full swing. So I'm actually going to show you these features right now. And I want to walk you through these because these are pretty incredible. Carlos, let's take a look at the sticky note feature that's brand new and how you can use it to make an even more engaging live stream. So the first thing you're going to want to do is log into your Be.Live dashboard. Okay. And when you do, hover over to the left-hand side where it says widgets and click on sticky notes. And then you'll see this sticky note pop up. And this is your actual sticky note. Now, your audience can't see it at this point. Right now, you can move it around the screen and you can think about, what it is that you want to say. And when you do that, you can send it to the live stream show by clicking this button. So watch how, well, first you can duplicate it, you can delete it, but you can send it live. And you see how that little tape thing kind of pops up, that little tape? That means that your audience can see it. So this is a really cool feature because you could be using this to sort of like build out your points and really create a more engaging show live on the air. You can change the colors. There's really a lot that you can do here. So we really, really love this feature, and I think that you're going to love it too. Okay, let's take a look at the second new filter, which is our overlay feature. Now, these new overlays, they're like Snapchat filters for Be.Live. And although you can actually upload some of your own too. You could actually do this yourself, but let's take a look at what Be.Live has added for you. So this is an example of one filter that gives your video sort of an old-timey, old filmy kind of look and just adds that added pop. Now, you could turn these on and turn these off during your live stream. There's no problem with that. And there's a few different varieties that you can choose from. Look at it. This is actually my favorite one right here. This is like the angel filter, right? Where it's like, oh, the angels are coming from heaven and they're here to reveal the power of your live stream. But the overlay feature is brand new to Be.Live. I have never seen a live stream software have this kind of feature, the marketplace. And that brings us to our third feature and really the most exciting feature that I've seen. Where did I go? This is the live shopping feature. Live shopping, live sales is hot and it's really cool. So over here on the left-hand side, you can add products and services and you can include links to these products and services. You can show them on your screen. You can share your screen. And you can even share links to the products so that your audience can go and buy them right there, right from your Facebook live stream. You can do this with Amazon affiliate products. You could do this with drop shipping products. You could even do this with your own products and services. Live sales, guys, is going to be the coolest thing to hit live streaming in a long time. And all of these are available to subscribed Be.Live users, and you can start using these right now if you have a subscription to Be.Live. And if you don't, you can go to epiclivevideo.com right now and get your free trial and start using these features today. Wow. What, my camera? Is my camera not on?
Yep, your camera's on.
Weird, guys. I know you can't see me. I'm working on coming back to you. I might be a little frozen here. but we are working on, this is my favorite part of going live here, is that you never know what could happen. And so I've just changed my camera to be a camera that's a little bit more friendly with the environment that we're in right now. I mentioned that we were having tech problems, but ladies and gentlemen, the show will go on. In fact, I would like to hear from you. I would like to hear from you. The show must go on in the comment section right now if you've ever experienced tech problems and you got to just keep moving. Okay. I'm super excited and I need a break from talking. So I want to introduce our guest today. And our guest today is going to be talking about YouTube and YouTube tricks that will help you to simplify the platform. Okay. Because now that you're with Be.Live, you can be live streaming on Facebook and you can be live streaming on YouTube. And you can also be editing those videos as pre-recorded videos for YouTube. And so we really want to encourage you to be uploading to the YouTube platform. But here's the problem is YouTube is it requires some finesse, right? It requires a little bit of sophistication. It's rare that you're going to like stumble upon success in YouTube. So my guest today does everything right. I've been following her for a long time. I've been watching her and watching her grow. I've been watching her influence grow, but even than that is I've been watching her passion grow for helping video creators like us get started and get successful on the platform. So ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is Diana Gladney, and she helps busy entrepreneurs simplify video creation so that you can amplify your business on YouTube. She's the host of EntreWoman.tv, where she's got 7,000 subscribers and more than 100,000 views on her videos. Diana, thanks for being here. Would love to hear about your journey and why you got started on YouTube.
Well, it is such an honor and privilege to be here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. But I am just so elated, honestly, because I've been watching you for a long time. And so to go from sneaking and watching lives at the job to now being able to be here is just like a full 360. So I'm super grateful. But you know, when it comes to like getting started on YouTube, it's interesting to answer that question because I didn't get started like most people with the intent to start, you know, cranking out videos and all of that. I got started because I got sick and I just kind of woke up to the idea like, you know what, I actually don't want to work a 9 to 5 my whole life. This is not super fulfilling, yet it pays the bills and that's important. Yeah. But it's not the end all be all. And so, you know, discovering that I had stage 4 endometriosis and kind of get to that point, just like, man, I almost died. And it's very different from I could have to I almost died. And so how I got started with video was honestly waking up to the idea there's a purpose and a passion that I believe we all have, was able to uncover mine. And so video, I just believe video was the best way to communicate that. There are a lot of great mediums, podcasts, websites, blog. We all have those, but video just kind of transcends everything because it's the audio portion, it's the video portion, it's the, you know, the quirks and the smiles and all the energy of being in person without having to be physically belly to belly.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting. I don't know if you knew this about me, but my story is centered around stage 3 thymoma cancer. And I was a video producer, largely working on set or on site with clients producing their video. But when I was diagnosed with cancer, it became obvious that I would not be able to continue working. And so we transitioned into coaching from a production company. And so obviously, you know, my heart just like connects. Like I really feel that story when you talk about, you know, an illness sort of providing the light, right? Providing the way out. And that I think is really exciting. So let's talk about YouTube because I see you on Instagram and you're giving YouTube tips. And then I see your YouTube channel. You're working with some of our mutual friends at TubeBuddy. Tell us a little bit about your journey onto YouTube and why our audience needs to consider YouTube as their next big platform.
I think YouTube is the #1 medium and form of communication right now. It's like, yes, video is that thing, but the most important thing about YouTube is that literally it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your expertise, where you've been, where you're going, like none of those things matter. And it is the ultimate equalizer and platform and universal platform, literally international and universal platform to where there's a community that's waiting to connect with you, that cares about your story and the things that you have to offer. And they're waiting to hear and learn from you and your experiences. And just the fact that video is available for free, that's saying we will, if you make it, we will promote this for you as long as you are serving somebody. So entrepreneurs, business owners, we're already used to solving a problem. Now let's get in front of those people that actually have a problem and let them know we're your people, who you need to come to.
Let me ask you this, because you've got some great points and I want to get into them today, but what would you say to the person who is just like, doesn't buy that YouTube is the best, or doesn't think that anyone wants to hear their content? What would you say to that person?
And to some extent, you're right. They don't just care about you saying, hey, my name's Diana. I'm great because I drink coffee. They're like, okay, and so, but the thing is, if you can answer the statement, who are you helping with what specifically, and pose your videos to serve them first, you will always win, because you're taking yourself out of the equation other than being the guide. It's like being Luke Skywalker finding Yoda. He didn't care who Yoda was. He only cared about what Yoda offered and what role he played in his journey. Then Yoda is just like, oh man, the Grand Master. So that is where you are as the entrepreneur. So you don't have to believe that people care about you, because honestly, they don't. When they click, they're caring about an answer, a solution to a problem, or an interest or something like that. And if you can answer that, then they'll care.
I feel like that's exactly right. And it's actually something that's really like a really tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
My good friend, Roberta Blake, on just Sunday, or it was Sunday, said, YouTube, like a lot of YouTubers, they only want to do what they want to do when they want to do it and be rewarded for it.
Yeah.
But what really matters is what the client wants, like what the viewer wants, and when you can kind of wrap your head around that, I agree entirely. It's really about delivering that message. And I think through the message, you become extremely valuable to them. You have 3 big points that I really want to hover around today, so that you and the audience can feel that you could start YouTube today and do so confidently. We're going to talk about the art of simplifying. We're going to talk about the art of simplifying video creation, and then YouTube Simplified. So let's get started by asking Diana, what are the most confusing elements of YouTube that creators need to know about?
It's more or less people thinking I have to get the technical side. Like, it's important, but it's like I get the title, the thumbnail, the camera, all of the technical aspects of it. Those are things that are attention grabbing, and they are very important. But if on the other side of the click, like that's your first win, is that click, their attention, you must maintain their attention. And if you cannot do that, then everything else has just fallen to crap. It doesn't matter how beautiful your image is, if you hired a cinematographer or any of that, if your message falls flat. And so when it comes to maintaining the attention of a person, you need to always be thinking about the them first premise, which says, how is what I'm creating, what I'm talking about, and what I'm doing going to serve them first? And so anything that you do, when you lead with that, not the technical, you can use your phone, you can use a lapel mic, you can use the headphones like this that comes with your old iPhones. Those will be fine and good enough to communicate the message. And that is the most important piece.
Yeah, it's really good, because, you show up with your iPhone headphones on and I'm like, is she serious? Like, we are way No, I'm kidding, because you're absolutely right. And I actually think the headphones give it kind of a cool modern look too. And so you have to kind of like looking at how what you appear to think are disadvantages, oh, I have to wear my iPhone headphones, how that's actually an advantage. It adds a look, and not getting sort of, chopped up or messed up, tripped up in the tech, But I hear a lot of people say, well, the good videos on YouTube are really high produced. So what are your thoughts on, like, does a more complex video outperform an iPhone video, or what do you think?
No, absolutely not. Because if that was the case, we'd all go buy the same camera and just turn it on and sit there and look at you and like, we are beautiful today. And you should notice, and this video will earn me $1,000. It doesn't work like that. And so it's literally the videos that are serving. So yes, the aesthetics help. There is one key pillar, which we'll probably dive into later, about video that makes it matter. But more than, again, the camera, the microphone, the lighting, yes, those help if people can see you clearly, if they can hear you clearly. But if the message falls flat, it doesn't matter. It's as good as finding a beautiful car, new paint job, best rims ever, even the old school ones that used to spin and everybody wanted those. And then there's no motor. Yeah, the spinner, it's like even the spinning hubcaps, people were desperate. But you get inside and there's no engine and there's no transmission, there's no muffler. And it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do with it? But it's pretty. That's the same thing with videos that are packaged well, but the message is not there. So it's always going to be the meat first. And then you can start to build up the aesthetics, and it helps, but it's not the end all be all.
I really like how you're saying build up. I'm all about that. We are all about, we treat our videos like a house, and it's not one video, right? Like each video is sort of like a couple bricks, right? And with each video, we're trying to do like, okay, let's see if we can't play better audio this time, or let's see if we can't, we had a camera glitch. And so next week it's going to be like, okay, let's fix the camera glitch. It's like each time, but I don't jump into a video, and nor do I advise clients to jump into video that's like the best possible video you could produce right now. Instead, it's more like, let's just see what your bare minimum production is right now. Just like, what would it take to get a video over in my inbox by the end of the day? Right. We build, okay, can we add a sound effect here? Can we add a cool thing in the set back there? And you're slowly sort of adding to that. What do you think happens when we overcomplicate this system? Like, what are some of the downsides to overcomplicating your YouTube worldview, your YouTube process?
I always explain it to my clients like this: too many learning curves is just going to make a circle. And so if we're constantly adding on a camera, that's one hook. Add on the microphone that's super professional that you don't have a clue of how to use, that's another hook. Oh, I forgot about lights, or it's these kind of lights and they're $500. That's another. Now we're going around in a circle. It's been months and you've never made content, not one single thing. So the further you complicate and add on all of these elements that you don't know how to use or understand, or why people actually invested in it, other than for it to look better or sound better or be pretty, essentially, then it's like those are like, you're missing it. You're missing the boat. And so when you're complicating things, you're missing the point of, there's somebody who is desperately waiting to hear what you have locked in on the inside of you. And just the fact that you're thinking like, my phone isn't good enough. You spent $1,000 on the phone. They spent 27 minutes of an hour presentation on the camera, not because they said, well, your Gmails are going to send so much faster now. They never said that in any phone presentation. You already bought a camera. So complicating things is complicating the message. And you're further, honestly, I think about it like, who is suffering because I didn't make that video? And when you put it in a perspective like that, then it really makes you think like, I need to get over myself.
I agree with you 100%. In fact, we talk about, when you're concerned about the makeup and you're concerned about the set and having it all look professional, you're actually stealing from your audience. There is somebody out there that needs your video and needs it, and they're going to go search for it, and it's not going to be there and it's not going to pull them out of their funk, and it's not going to teach them the skill they need to get that promotion. And you're actually harming your audience because you're worried about your lip gloss. Now, that being said, like, I washed my face before this show because I was glistening. It's really hot in here. And I felt like that would be actually a distraction to the show. Like, people are like, Owen, why is Owen like, is he okay? You know what I mean? So there's value, right? In show prep, right? It's not show business, it's show prep, right? Is a part of the show. But I think you got to like limit that and kind of, do the minimum to get your video out this week. If you have questions for Diana or myself about YouTube or on Facebook videos, ask us in the comment section right now. If you have questions about Be.Live and you need to talk to customer service, we're going to put an email into the comment section right now, and you can send an email to the customer service people and the tech crew, and they'll be able to help you out with any of those tech problems, which I'm just not the guy. I don't know the code. So I couldn't help out too well. And I do have a question coming in from the Video Marketing School, where we've got Josh listening, Monica is listening, Alex and Yvonne are listening. Hey, Evie, good to see you. We've got Jerry Wald watching in the Be.Livers group, and Jerry is saying, I currently stream on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. should I stream on YouTube to get better views? Diana Gladney, what do you think?
I think you need to create for your people and where they prefer to receive information. Everybody that's on Facebook doesn't watch videos in the same way, nor are they searching for videos on Facebook in the same way that they do for YouTube. And that's kind of, to be honest, is a little bit of laziness when it comes to, I'm just going to share it everywhere and then you'll get what you get wherever you are. It kind of doesn't work that way on YouTube. When you're on YouTube, there's a search bar at the very top, because that's the primary concern of everybody on the platform, is looking for a specific thing. And when they search, they expect to find a specific answer. And if they come across that video, that it's not that that's a bad thing or you can't ever do it, but if they find where the title is good, the thumbnail looks great, and they click on it and they're like, hey, Facebookers, what's up, guys? We're today going, and it's just like, am I a fly on the wall, or am I supposed to be here? Is this for me? And it's really only a little bit of time. And anytime you confuse, you're going to lose them, and they'll just click the back button and they're off to somebody that is answering and speaking to them directly. It's like if I turn my head and I'm just like, hey guys, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. You're already like, well, where is she looking? And what are you doing? It's just like, she's not talking to us. That same kind of effect happens. Yep. Yeah. And so you want to create. Go ahead.
I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, it's like you want to create for where they are. Now, to the same point, on Facebook, they're expecting, and their scroll pattern is a different kind of a way. So the dynamics of how they're digesting information on a specific social platform, if you're on Facebook, create something for them. Not that you can't ever, simulcast and share, but create something for them for where they are and how they prefer to receive that information on that platform.
That's really good. We in fact have the 3P rule, which is platform, people, and purpose, right? Like you need to create for a specific person, for a specific purpose, and on a specific platform. So Jerry, I know, has the Stroke TV show, and it's really, really powerful. Here's a guy, who had a stroke and is now broadcasting live stream shows to help other stroke survivors sort of adjust to this new way of living. And so it's really, I think, necessary show. But what I do is I take a YouTube first approach. So I do dual cast on Facebook and on YouTube, but YouTube's the primary audience and Facebook is sort of the filler audience. And that works for me because I'm on Facebook so often anyway. It's almost like, hey, if you're on Facebook and you want to get the full eye contact, then just come over to YouTube. And that, in fact, is really our goal, is to get people over on YouTube. And speaking of getting on YouTube, if you want to see some phenomenal Be.Live tutorials, go to the Be.Live YouTube channel. They're uploading tons of great stuff, and you really got to check it out. Okay, we had another question coming in from Evelyn Flynn, who asks, how did you get educated on video?
Well, I wish for that specific question, my shirt had come in that says, I'm a graduate of YouTube University. And that is a legit and true statement. That YouTube search bar literally changed my life, from finding my first paid business coach to finding the cameras, to finding the tutorials and all of the things, even to the point of understanding my core audience better and how to serve them, even when I started making videos. So everything from telling stories, being an effective communicator, learning what causes people to pay more attention to you versus to leave early, all of those things happened from the YouTube search bar. So it's just like one of those, it's like, I'm embedded into YouTube. So YouTube University.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's a free education resource on the web, right? So just search for YouTube University. And I think that's a real blessing. When I started on YouTube, 6 years ago, there wasn't a YouTube University, and there wasn't any YouTube experts. And it's, now that we sort of are the YouTube experts, we're also creating our own stuff and contributing to all these things. So it's really wonderful to see all the resources that you have. Let me tell you guys something. I have seen people like Diana, but also people like Dan Courier at Creator Fundamentals and other new creators get started later than I have and grow faster because we know how to do it now. And so, I don't want anyone to be afraid of YouTube because of learning it. I would instead say, commit weekly time to learning it because it's that important. It's like you look at your business and you realize you're selling more blue widgets than you are yellow widgets. Well, then focus on more blue. Don't try to focus on getting the low selling thing up, right? If you're wasting time on blogging or SEO, or you're freaking out about finding a social media manager, I would actually encourage you to kind of like cut all of those things and focus that 80% energy on YouTube and YouTube alone, with a secondary Facebook live stream thing, because that is really going to build your business. When people go to search for how to find a reading coach, how to find a breathing coach, how to find a YouTube coach. So really, really great stuff. Jane Joan Comedy is saying, Diana, you are great. Fabulous voice also.
Thank you.
If the live stream is a little crinkly, guys, keep in mind it could be your computer, it could be our internet, it could be a thunderstorm, it could be a lot of different things. The value of Facebook, what Facebook does is it takes a high quality signal like ours and it makes it accessible so that you can still hear the sound and see that it's coming through, even if it's not in the highest quality. But for those of us watching on YouTube, I think we're seeing a pretty crystal clear picture most of the time. So we appreciate all that feedback that's coming in. We've got more questions, and if you have questions for Diana or myself on YouTube, please ask them in the comment section. Diana, how do we simplify the video production or the video creation process?
I think we need to get to the point to where I love Heather Torres of Think Media. She talks about getting the minimum effective dose. If you've ever taken any kind of aspirin or any kind of pain relief, just basic over-the-counter stuff, it always has a minimum effective dose. If this is your problem, you at least need this to solve for the headache. You at least need this much water to stay hydrated. It's the same way with video. So our minimum effective dose when it comes to video and the creation part of it is, what is the bare minimum amount of things that I need to be able to make a good and competent video? This does not mean B-roll. This does not mean camera specifics and lenses and all that stuff. It just means, can I make sure my lens on my camera isn't dirty or that has Cheeto stains from a toddler? Can I make sure that it has that instead of the shaky, I drank 38 cups of coffee hand? Can I at least make sure it's on a tripod that's $16 from Amazon so that it's not shaking? And then can I at least buy the minimum effective dose? Can I get a $10 lapel microphone that's going to at least keep you from hearing my 3-year-olds or my 5-year-olds in the other room that is having a Nerf battle in the living room? So minimum effective dose. That's how you simplify it, by just doing the basics right. Just get to doing the basics right. And from there, every next video should be better than the last based on your performance and your stuff. So if your nose and only your forehead was in the shot last time, let's at least try to get the face in the frame this time.
Try to get it all. You know, and I'll tell you this, like, film wide, right? Like when you're filming, just as you're getting started, film wide to where there's lots of room. See, look how there's like room above me.
On the sides, all of that.
And room to the side. So even though the viewfinder, when I'm done, I can sort of like zoom it in and put it where I want to go. Great advice. I see my good friend Angelica Ventrice is logging in. Angelica Fuapo, excellent YouTube channel. Search for Angelica Ventrice on YouTube. So, when we simplify video, are we eliminating sort of the quality of the video?
No, it's also it's really getting the right definitions for these words. We think cinematic, we think all these different stuff we hear. We have to define what that means for us and our thing. So like I talked about having stage 4 endometriosis. You don't see me going for hikes up into the mountains of, no, it means just getting what's right for me and my office. And again, adjusting for what's right for my space. So again, that means not hearing the airplanes that sound like UFOs from the military base. That means, making sure I at least have a light on so that I can be seen and lit well for my video, whether it's with a camera or my phone. And so if we're trying to make sure the quality is decent, that just means good for what you have and for where you are. So start with where you are and stop judging yourself and comparing. And then we can say that was a good video based on our metrics and our production and what we can actually pull off versus like, I'll never be as good as fill in the blank.
Okay. So I struggle with this a lot because I see many more like higher end cameras. My good buddy Sean Cannell, just amazing production value. And it's like, I can't do that. What I can do though is I can do it my way, right? So Diana, what is the checklist of gear or the checklist of items that you would say like is a simplified YouTube video creation set?
So this is your minimum effective dose as prescribed by Dr. Gladney. Okay. And my initials actually is DRG. Okay. And so you can take this to the bank and to the hospital. So
I love
you
it.
need a good lapel microphone. And I mean good, like one that is, you'll see dynamic in the description. There are a couple brands and stuff like that. We probably link later, but get a good lapel microphone. That means that it's going to clip on your shirt or something like that. So it already picks up good audio. You
Yeah.
don't have to be super close to your phone or to the camera. And you don't have to worry about a lot of background noises. You are like, this is 90% of the video by itself. Because if people can't hear you well, you're exhausting them audibly.
Okay.
They will leave like you will not believe. So that rhymed. So, and so the next thing
Good. I was gonna
is,
say, is that a
yeah,
thing?
I'm gonna have to write that one down. So the next
Yeah.
thing is your tripod. Nobody wants to see somebody that's shaking all over the place. And it doesn't matter how stable you think you are comparative to what they're saying in their search results, you're off. And so like we don't want that. So you need a tripod. If you do decide your content is more outdoorsy, moving around, still some kind of little tripod to make sure your videos are stable. So again, a $16 Amazon Basics tripod will get you there. The last thing is lighting, and it is in this order because you can use the sunlight and the window for lighting and things like that, but it's audio first, then the video, and then the lighting. So it could be a window,
Wow.
but it's not behind you. So you don't see a window behind me, it's on the side. So it'll complement the side of my light. If I turned off my light right now, it just got dark. And so now it's okay, but it's not as good as it was before. Now the lights help add just that little bit extra aesthetic to it that kind of helps. But that's extra, but you could use a window. So maybe soften it. It's maybe adding a shower curtain or closing the blinds, little things. And then maybe investing in, like they even have like amazing $20 LED light panels. Now you can start to like deal with that, because for me, I had to record at night. I worked at the bank, so I was always at work during the daytime. And nighttime was my jam. So I had to control my lighting then. And even if I could record during the daytime, it's still about controlling or understanding the lighting. So investing in a light, making sure it's soft so you're evenly and well lit at least. And then that's your minimum effective dose to get you going.
That's really good. That's really good. And, you know, I like that because you could sort of add onto it, right? Like you could start with a microphone now and add a light later, right? Because, and I'll tell you, that's not a bad idea because light can be a challenge. Like I've got 2 different lights in here and I've bought them over different periods of time. Let me tell you, when I started, all they had were these giant softbox lights, like photography lights.
Oh my gosh. You know? Yep.
And
so
we've
annoying.
seen this. They take up so much room. And they tend to have like really expensive breakable light bulbs in them, right? So I'm looking at them right now. I still have them because they're like such a behemoth. It's not even the money I spent. It's like I've invested blood, sweat, and tears in moving those from this studio to that studio
to
to this
get them right.
person. I'm keeping them, you know, I'm keeping them until they break. But I'll tell you, like the light bulbs, they break, and now you got to buy a brand new LED $15 light bulb versus the LED light panels. And it's all, I mean, these are workhorses. They never die, and it emulates a window. So you get the same type of light. I really, really love that. We do have some questions. I want to go back to our audience for questions. And Carlos, I've been just kind of throwing them at you. So if you want to sort of put them up on screen, maybe you could put them up one at a time. And if you have questions for me or Diana on YouTube or Facebook live streaming, go ahead and type your questions in the comment area right now. And I'm just looking for example, Melanie Brown asks, can you direct us to videos to help edit adding music? So she needs help adding music, I think, to her system.
So what they will call, you'll see technically NLE or non-linear editor or whatever, any editing software tool that you'll get, whether it's the free ones, low budget ones, or the more expensive pro versions, all of them allow you to bring in audio. But I would warn you, before you add in music, is your original audio good already? Because if it's not, you're just adding harsh audio and now noise. And so if I started playing some bluegrass music of all things loud into the microphone at the same level I'm talking, everybody is like, who the hell is this guest? I'm sick of her already. I'm leaving. That same audio exhaustion happens in video. So any of them really is kind of drag and drop or an import process to bring in that audio. I don't have a specific tutorial to send you to, but I would say search based on your actual name of your software and import. That's all you need.
And here's some other thoughts on music. Okay, YouTube has a full music library. So if you're making videos and you want to add music to them, then YouTube has hundreds of songs that you can use for free.
Too.
Yeah. So just log in there and you can check for it there, right? You can also search for things like royalty-free music. There's a website called usemysongs.com, which is you pay, but you pay a lower amount. There's some deals there. But, you know, here's the big thing about music is like add the music first and edit to the music. You know, like if a video goes like, or if the music goes like bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, like those are great places to add the cuts, you know, at the bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, right? And you're editing to the music versus editing the video and then
just letting it ride.
Which is okay, but it just an added tip on editing music. Okay, Natalie Alstrom has a great question. Let's put that one back up on the screen. She asks, so do you have to create 2 separate videos, one for Facebook and one for YouTube, or is there a way for you to create both videos at the same time? Awesome question, Diana Gladney.
Natalie, I'm going to give you a secret. So if you're recording your videos, you can always think about it in blocks. And I teach like a 4-block framework when it comes to recording your videos, but specifically to this question, think about your core content of the message. That is more or less going to be the same. The difference could be for you so that you're still speaking to the person and to the platform. Create an intro specific for Facebook, specific to how they're doing and receiving their information, and then do one for YouTube. So the core content is the same. The intros are different, and then the outros are different. Because if I say, hit the heart button on YouTube, they're like, there is no heart button. Or is there something new? Am I missing this? It's like, you confuse, you lose. We don't need to do that. So just say, hey, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button coming up on the screen right now. It's that Facebook doesn't do that. So make your intros and outros specific to the platform and the people and how they're receiving their information there. And then you can do your core content the same. So you're only really just kind of chopping off those ends.
Yeah. In fact, you know, what you're talking about, we call the ROS, the run of show template. And we have a run of show template for YouTube videos, for live videos, for podcasts, and even for sales videos, so on and so forth. But it's a framework. It's a structure. It's a first do this and then do this. In our structure, we sort of have the hook, the setup, the meat, and the conclusion. And after that, we put intro. And so we have that built into our process, and we do it at the end because you ever like sat down to do a video and sort of like a different video came out of it? Like you go into it and you're like, oh, I'm going to do a tutorial about shoelaces. But then it's like, it actually became more of a treatise on why shoelaces are good, you know? And so it might change the way you frame the video. Have you ever done that before though? You sit down and do one video and it comes out in the video.
Oh yeah. All the time. It's just like, you sit there and you're just like, not what I thought, but we'll work with it.
We'll work with it. I got to retitle this a little bit. You know, here's what you never want to do. You never want to like discard that video or, oh, I got to start this again. You got to like get it out there. And let me tell you something, you know, we've been analyzing our channel a lot, right? Is this the more overproduced, like we have a lot of production value in our stuff, and the more we do that, our views actually decrease. And I think it's because of an exhaustion. It's almost like, do I have the energy to consume Owen video right now? Right? Whereas when we go a little bit more off the cuff and just boom, those videos are performing really well. And so I think it's just a testament to production value isn't always the thing. Sometimes you might just do a video, see how it does. I think that you'd be surprised by what performs versus what you thought
what doesn't. Every time it's going to get. It's the ones that you think like, this is good. It'll fill my quota per se for the week or something. And it's not the one that you spent 30 hours like trying to make like, this is going to be the best video ever. And that one kind of gets like, it falls flat. And it's just like, Okay, nobody wanted to see. All right, thank you. May the Lord bless you and keep. It's like, but the one you sit down and you like, man, I got time. Let me just go. And like, it's a lot of heart in that one, but it doesn't require a lot of technical stuff. Everybody's just like, man, I love that one. That was amazing. You just like, I did no work for that video. So it does happen. And I think it's just the sincerity and just the heart behind those kind of videos. Like, your people, they are your people for a reason. They're following you for a specific purpose. So like, they get you, and they also know when you work really hard, and they're like, oh, I appreciate that, but just be you, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's really good. And I've lived it my whole life as sort of coming from this TV background, right? Like, because I worked in TV and radio and big production and always loved it. YouTube is not the same. There's a lot of similarities, but it isn't always the same. And I think that's really important, that you're not striving to be a Joe Rogan podcast or a Marie Forleo YouTube channel, that you're working to be the best Diana Gladney or the best Natalie Alstrom that you can be right now. And your best this year, it will not be as good as your best next year. But I'll tell you, I see people wanting to do everything at once. And I feel like that's not always the best strategy. So I want to ask you, how do you, like, are these strategies things that our viewers can just like go and apply all at once? Or do we work on these one at a time?
And you definitely want to work on these one at a time, because it's all about taking daily progressive steps. If you think that there is one big, huge leap that you can do and check out the Amazon cart until they send you a check back, it doesn't work like that. It requires consistency and time. And even for you to learn things about yourself and your own content takes time. It's always about taking that next daily progressive step. If it was a quote that I love, and I can't remember who said it, but is that if two people are the same, one of you is a copy, that means one of you is irrelevant. So you don't need to worry about copying the other person that you saw whose stuff was this. You only need to try and worry about being better than you were yesterday. So even with that and how you're producing content, what's a daily progressive step that you can take to be better at communicating? For me, that was stop saying as many times as I used to, or like as many times as I used to. And I would pause for a second or say or something like that, just to kind of smooth that over until I got to a point that I can be more consciously aware of how I'm communicating. And to that, for me, was far better than any camera or lens that I could buy. So daily progressive steps every time.
So what would you say is the next step? Let's imagine that our average viewer here has a concept. They've gone live once or twice at least. So they've got a basic setup and they're ready to go. What would you say is the next one or two steps that they should take, that person should take, to building a solid, reliable YouTube channel?
I always talk about the them first premise, which is thinking like, how is what I'm creating serving this person on the keyboard in the search? Remove yourself, remove your own emotions about what you're doing and things like that. Because sometimes your last achievement is just the worst distraction ever. And so you have to think about, how is what I'm going to create going to serve somebody searching for this, or who you're intending to connect and communicate with. If you can do that, you need to make it undeniable that when somebody finds your channel or your video, they are like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I've been looking for a channel. It needs to be that sense of relief. So your videos, your titles, and your thumbnails and things like that are all about letting them know, once you have found this one video of mine, you will never need to go any, like, this is home for you. Subscribe here because this is right for you. And so if you're creating videos like that, is serving them, that is going to be enough, no matter what camera or microphone or anything. It's always going to be enough to make them say like, yo, this channel is everything. Like, and that's how you get those comments. I'm binge watching your content. I'm watching your live streams. It's always about leading with them. When we title stuff like things ask me about this, why, or why should I care? So who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? If you can always think about that kind of question and that perspective, and that initially they don't, but when they realize you are all about serving them, they're yours, and you can't get them to leave even if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, it's really, really true. I think of it like a tabletop. A tabletop has the tabletop and the legs, but then the brackets that attach the legs to the table. And so, you know, it's the same with your YouTube videos. It's you might have a great video, but you really have to connect it to the value they're searching for. And that really, I think, opens up where you can go with your content, because, you know, you can talk about like how to grow a YouTube channel to get more sales. Yeah. Right. And now you've connected YouTube to sales, but you could do another video. It's like how to use YouTube to grow your email list. And you've connected a different bracket now, you know, and you can go deep on those topics, right? Like how to get more YouTube subscribers to grow your email with ActiveCampaign or with GetResponse or with MailChimp. You know, you can just build out these huge libraries. I think the big thing is you just got to get started. You know, following Diana is a great way to do that. And we do have some questions, including a question that asks, Diana, how do we follow you on YouTube? So I'll let you answer.
You can find me by searching my name in the search bar. So that's always a win. But my channel is called Entree Woman TV. And it's about helping you simplify the video creation process so you can reach wider and connect deeper with the people that need you the most.
Yeah, really good. So entrewoman.tv, search Diana Gladney in the YouTube search bar. Carlos, put that back up. That was a good question. Okay, so Michael, who has been watching us on YouTube, and Michael been asking great questions. Thanks for your patience. Michael is asking, Diana, please, what lights are you using right now? The colorful ones behind you as well.
Oh man, I got to give away secrets today. No, just kidding. So the one blue light that you see, yep, it's over here. That is a little LED light that's by a company called Andicini. And so it literally will cover the color spectrum. And so I was testing out something different. I said, well, let's try it blue today. And then this other one that's back here is kind of pink or purpley or whatever. That one is one that I run. This little IKEA light that you can get for maybe like $30. All my stuff is very cost friendly. And so I can change the lights with the switch of a remote. Again, everything is simplified because I'm not getting up to go back there and change light bulbs and all that stuff. So I just want to hit a button and change it. And I have even to the point, I'm going to give you all a pro tip. Make everything as simple as you can. So when you do it once, like that set it, forget it off the infomercial, figure it out once. You don't need to think twice about it again. So remotes, switches with like, even I could take my big toe and turn everything off over here. You simplify your setups for you. And so that's all I did with those lights.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something. What's up, Just Samson, by the way, logging in. You know, for me, everything's on Alexa. I have a combination of bulbs and Alexa. You can buy Alexa switches that go into the wall. So I've got, you know, I can say a number of codes that will turn my lights different things and do different things, including well, I want to talk about these PAR lights. Guys, search, if you want cheap lights, search for PAR lights, PAR lights. You won't get them in white, but you can get like 8, like these blue lights are all PAR lights, and they're a little bit bigger than Diana's. They plug in, but you can plug them into Alexa powered devices. And so you can do some different things with it. And it was like, I must have paid $20 to get like 8 lights. They might be more now because of all the supply line stuff, but they're really affordable. Okay, Ed Weinberg is asking, will YouTube be mad if you use YouTube Music on Facebook? They won't let you. It will come up as all of YouTube's music is registered. So Facebook wouldn't even allow it for more than a day or two. Yeah. Great question. How about Michael Arthur is, where do I get sound effects? And how do I decide to add a picture when it comes with sounds? That's an interesting question. Dan, I'm going to defer to you. Where do you do that stuff?
I get all of my music content from Epidemic Sound, which is super popular on YouTube. But I think one of the things that makes it very alluring is that you can get the music, pick the genres. Your search is very specific. So you literally could type in bell sound effect or swoosh. So it's not a notification bell or anything like that. It's just like the names of what it kind of sounds like. And you can specifically search. It'll give you just hundreds of results for that. So you can find music specific to your taste or your audience's like, or you can find sound effects. There's a lot of music platforms out there. But again, I like things that are simple. So with one button, I can download all of those things and just drag and drop it into my editing software. So that's where I get my music and audio and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you know, like there is tons of free stuff on YouTube. Go to YouTube and just search for free sound effects. And you'll find videos that have tons of sound effects like glass breakage. and you'll
Yep.
find 10 different
Yep.
types of glass breakage. Usually, you got to look, because usually they'll say, hey, you can use this for free. And then it's just up to you how you get it. Like, do you go to their website and download it? Do you just screen record it? You know, you got a number of different options. But I would also do this. Like, I would spend a day going and collecting sound effects versus looking for a specific sound effect the moment you
Every
think of it.
video. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's like an Owen video special. I used to do that on every single video until we developed a huge library. I use a software, or there's a website called freesound.org.
Yeah.
Freesound.org.
Yep.
You remember that site? I haven't used it in years.
Yeah, it
But
used to be that's all you really had because music used to suck or it used to be really expensive. So the barrier to entry now super low. And that's the thing too with YouTube. There are creators actually making things and giving those things away. So even like the effects to go with like the subscribe and the click and the thumbs up and all that, people are making those and giving those away to showcase their brand and their business.
yeah, it's really, so I would use them, you know, and use them to
Mhm.
the fullest. Great question. Pamela Jordan is asking, can you add more than one guest on Facebook Live? Yes, you can add up to, I believe, 4 guests and a screen share, and each guest can screen share too. So it is a phenomenal service, especially for getting a multi-chat sort of feature here. And you can get a free trial when you go to epiclivevideo.com. And here's the deal. If you go to epiclivevideo.com and you start a free trial, I want you to send me a direct message and tell me, because I have a training. I'm going to give it to you. I'm just going to give you a free training. And I waited till the end to say this because I only want the people that waited. I want you guys to go get your free trial and then ping me and I'll send you this session. Okay, we've got more questions. I want to try to get to them before the hour is over. I see Oscar has a question. Oscar asks, when are you guys, he means Be.Live, when is Be.Live going to allow the host to broadcast on a phone or an iPad? Hey, that is a great question. And I will say this, there are tons of new features being added to the Be.Live platform every single month. So keep in touch. And here's the thing, remember this, is that there's a lot of technology involved with Be.Live, right? Like, it's kind of like anybody from the world with the basic internet connection can all of a sudden have a TV show. And so having that TV show from your phone takes a little bit, it's a different type of technology, but we hear you, and stay tuned for new updates on the regular. Landry asks, is it possible to broadcast simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook with Be.Live? Yes, we are doing it right now. And if you don't have a free trial, then go get one at epiclivevideo.com. Okay, Dean Reynolds is saying I skipped his question. And now just because I skipped it, I'm sure it's going to be like, Owen's a weirdo, right? It's like, oh, you got me. You got me. I don't see it here, Dean, my man. I apologize. But Diana, we've had a great show and our time is up. How do we stay in touch with you? Send us out on a high note.
I would absolutely say you can go to dianagladney.com. That'll link you over to my Instagram or even over to my YouTube channel. That's the best place to find me as well. Seeing other content that I post there, but that's going to be the place to go to, dianagladney.com.
Awesome. Go check it out right now. And if you want to stick around and hear a few more questions answered, we're going to answer a few more questions that just came in. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Owen Video. We'll see you next time. Okay, we just got a couple questions in, so Carlos, hopefully you didn't cut it. Are we still on? Yeah, we're still on. Okay, so we just got a couple more questions, and I wanted to answer them because you guys make Be.Live happen, and so we want to make sure we attend to all of you. Cindy Mirapole is saying, how do you add more people on Facebook Live? Go to the left-hand side of the broadcast area, and you'll see a link, and you can send that link out to as many people as you want. You can only allow 4 people in.
Oh, your camera, Owen. Owen, your camera's off. Owen, your camera's gone. Should we bring Diana back in? Just bring her back. Hey, how are you?
Doing good. So looks like we lost Owen there. So I guess I'll be the the sub host for a minute, just kind of filling in. If you want to bring up questions, I guess I go ahead and try to answer those as best as I can if they're not Be.Live related.
Yeah, it looks like we have a couple here. Yeah, I think that might be it.
Okay, my guests sometimes drop off the screen doing live interviews. What is the cause? So I think if you're trying to do live streaming content and if your guest is falling off, one of the things like the pre-check show, so letting them join 15 to 20 minutes in advance so that you can see what their setup is. The number one biggest thing is going to make sure that they're not streaming via Wi-Fi and that they're connected via Ethernet. This is communication that you can have ahead of time to say, hey, and ask them like even a questionnaire for the guest. Do you have a microphone that's not wireless that's plugged in, and have them respond yes or no to these questions, making sure that they have Ethernet and not Wi-Fi so that even if a plane goes over, anything happens or whatever, even if they're in the same room as that Wi-Fi device, you're not having to worry about them getting shoddy internet in the meantime. But it's kind of one of the things when it comes to live streaming is that you're kind of stuck with the benefits of being live where anything can happen. So you want to have maybe like a be right back screen or experiencing technical difficulty screen or something, maybe a countdown to let people know, hey, give us 2 minutes and we'll see what's going on. So you have time to kind of like dissect that. But there's really not a lot you can do other than trying to ask those questions ahead of time, making sure about 15 or 20 minutes before you go live, those final checks are there. And then when you actually go live, just kind of making parameters so that if something happens, you kind of have a little bit of a backup plan. So hopefully that helps just kind of smooth things out as much as possible.